Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the special subgroup, 10th of August 2021. Agenda item 1, evacuation procedure. There is a location plan of the exits and the assembly points situated on the doors of this room. Please familiarise yourself with it. On discovering a fire, please carry out the following: sound the alarm, attack the fire if possible. On hearing the evacuation signal, please exit the building by your nearest safety exit. All visitors report to assembly point G. All staff report to their designated assembly points on Woolpack Way car park. Do not leave the assembly point for any reason until to do so by the incident controller or the fire brigade officer. Agenda item 2, apologies for absence, members away on official council business.
Chair, apologies from Councillor Hayfield, the substitute, Councillor David Humphreys. Apologies from Councillor Les Smith, the substitute, Councillor Jarvis.
Thank you. Be noted. Disclosable pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests. No. Public participation. Doesn't look like we've got any. And right, 5, Green Space Officer, Market Supplement, report of the Director of Leisure and Community Development. The report seeks the subgroup's approval for a market supplement to be applied to the Green Space Officer. The officer for this is Simon Hamill. Any questions, members? Thank you, Councillor Parsons.
Thank you, Denise. Just not quite sure what the Green Space Officer does. Can we have a sort of outline? I've no argument with what's there, but I'd like to know a bit more about what they do in North Warwickshire, really.
Thank you. I'm sure Simon will be able to do it. I mean, I did get to meet Catherine quite a few times, and she was a very good officer.
Very briefly through you, Chair. If it's green, other than if it's got a tree attached to it, then this person deals with it. So implementation of green space strategy, playing pitch strategy, play area development programme, anything to do with your recreation grounds and sports pitches. And we've only got one green space officer. This officer is responsible for it. Planning issues associated with green space, amenity open space, section 106 agreements, local nature reserves, one-off uses of your recreation grounds, horses at Grange Road in Hartshill, you name it, this person does it.
So trees and hedges and that sort of thing come into it as well?
We have a green space officer trees, and we're currently out to recruit to that position as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that.
No problem.
Councillor Jens.
Thank you, Chair. Just a comment, really, that looking at the comparison of salaries with other local nearby councils, we are quite low in comparison to them. So I certainly think it's worth investigating whether that's the reason we're having trouble filling the post. And this is one of them is actually to the manager. Is that still the same job with other officers that under manager? Because sometimes just what you call a job makes a difference, isn't it?
Through you, Chair, we did obviously look at the associated job descriptions. We asked for the authorities' guidance in that regard, and they are similar. Obviously, they vary in certain bits and pieces of the overall job duties, but they're broadly similar, Chair.
Thank you.
Councillor Jarvis.
Thank you, Chair. I broadly agree with what's there, that we're well out of sync with other areas, and it's not to be expected that we lose people in this manner. Looking just a little bit deeper at this, is it worth this authority doing a benchmarking exercise through all of the officers' salaries? Because is this, or could this be the tip of an iceberg where, we start losing people because we are so far out of sync with other local authorities? So, personally, I would like to see a benchmarking exercise across the patch.
Thank you, Councillor Jarvis. Yeah, I found this quite interesting reading because it was a shame that we lost the Green Space Officer because she was very good at the job. As I say, I met her on several occasions to do with Mansett, which is in my patch, really. And I understand where Councillor Jarvis is coming from, that I know we are struggling with other posts at the minute. So I'd like to take the recommendation forward to the exec board. At the proposal market supplement for the Green Space Office post as detailed in the report, we agreed subject to the exec board's approval of the required budgetary increase. Councillor Jarvis?
Could we just add a little rider to that, that it's expensive, you know, going for this, no problem at all. We just add a little rider to it that expands it to look through other positions and do some benchmarking.
Chair, there's nothing.
Can we add that on, Clive?
There's nothing in principle that stops you doing that. And if at the moment you've moved, it's not been seconded. So if you're happy to include that as part of the recommendation that you're moving, that's absolutely fine.
I'll put that as a proposal then.
So I got a proposal from Councillor Jarvis, seconded by Councillor Humphreys. Everybody okay with that? Thank you very much. Agenda item 6 is the update civil report on human resources issues. Any questions for Kerry? Councillor Parsons?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I mean, an interesting report, and I'm just wondering if obviously things are not as they normally would be at the moment. Is there any way we can sort of quantify what the impact of COVID has been? You know.
Just to clarify your sort of question there, do you mean in terms of the impact for the workforce as a whole, or in terms of the HR team and the work that the HR team have been undertaking?
Both, actually, I haven't thought of it that way. But yes.
Very similar vein to what I brought to Special Sub at the start of the year, in January, February time. Obviously, the pandemic has had a big impact on the work that the HR team have been undertaking, in the sense of the work involved with supporting managers and employees, and as mentioned in the report, the guidance and the changes to procedures, and making sure that that's communicated well to employees. Health and safety aspects as well, in terms of risk assessments and the associated controls and guidance in that vein. Employees, obviously, it's been a big change to employees. A lot of people have had changed working practices, whether that's the frontline workers who are still attending their workplace, or then individuals who are working from home. Big change to suddenly go to a remote working scenario. On the whole, from the summaries that we've undertaken during the year, most employees have been able to adapt to that change and actually have seen the benefits of that change. As noted in the report, the sickness absence in comparison to the same period last year is actually reduced. Short-term sickness absence has reduced. Long-term is slightly up. However, that I wouldn't say necessarily directly related to the pandemic. Some of the long-term sickness absent cases that we have had may have been a touch longer due to delayed treatment, for example, through NHS. If somebody's had for example, broken shoulder, they might not have been able to get any treatment and return to work as quickly as they may have in other circumstances. So with the sickness absence, there has been a reduction. There has been an increase in mental health sickness absence in comparison to last year, albeit mental health and musculoskeletal injuries are generally the top two sickness reasons, but those cases are being managed by the HR team, supporting the managers to manage the case and the cases under our attendance management policy to offer the support to individuals where they need signposting to support services or the council's internal counselling services. So it's been HR work as the day job as normal, as much as possible, with doing all the work associated with the COVID pandemic and hopefully supporting the employees and the managers across the organisation in the current climate.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Kerry for a detailed report. Councillor Jens?
You just referred to mental health, and at 11.4 you talk about the Thrive to Work initiative. I believe the county council's just achieved their bronze accreditation for that. I'm not clear from this, are we actually working towards bronze accreditation ourselves, or is it just that we're?
Yes, well, they've just actually introduced a new level called the foundation level, which is the 5 key principles to get, which form part of the bronze foundation. I think from their communications to us, that there's some organisations found it a lot to sort of to go for the bronze straight away. There's a lot of different elements that you need the accreditation on. So they tried to do initial foundation level, which people get a certificate, and then move on to bronze. So we're just starting on the foundation level. But as mentioned in the report, actually, we have a lot of things in place in the council that we just basically have to evidence to thrive. So examples of having attendance management policies or alcohol and drugs policy, display screen equipment of policies, things like that, or, you know, health initiatives that we might put on for employees. So it's just then evidencing that, but aiming for foundation, certificate, and then moving up to bronze.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it just needs to be noted as well. If you look at the percentage, people may look at percentages high for streetscape, but I think we just need to remind you that these worked all the way through. You know, that they didn't stop. And again, with leisure and community, they was the ones that come back the earliest. So, you know, they're going to be off more than somebody that's at home, aren't they? But as I say, again, thank you for a detailed report. Any more question, members? I don't like to recommend that this agenda item be noted.
Seconded.
Everybody okay with that? Got that, Clive? Thank you very much. I don't believe there's anything else. Thank you for attending. Good night. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
What's the record?